Have you ever had a sudden, unexpected moment where you step back from your routine and realize that you are actually quite good at something meaningful? Something you never intentionally planned to master, but somehow developed through repeated experience over time?
Oh, absolutely. Like fixing a complicated technical problem at work and having everyone in the room suddenly look at you as if you just performed some kind of incredible magic trick, when in reality you were simply quietly persistent and paid close attention to details others overlooked.
Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to our conversation. I'm Emma, and sitting right here with me is Jake. Today we're diving into something genuinely uplifting and personally meaningful, talking openly about a skill you're proud of, a skill that quietly defines who you are becoming and reminds you of your own capacity for growth.
That's exactly right. We're not discussing something loud, flashy, or designed to impress strangers. Instead, we're exploring a real, fully earned skill that makes you think with genuine satisfaction. Yeah, I truly worked for that achievement, and it rightfully belongs to me.
So let me ask you directly and sincerely, when you take a moment to think carefully about your own life, your experiences, and your personal journey, what's one specific skill that genuinely makes you feel proud inside? Not arrogant or superior, but quietly and deeply satisfied with yourself.
Cooking. Specifically taking whatever random leftover ingredients happen to remain in the refrigerator and creatively turning them into something delicious and satisfying that makes people genuinely ask for a second helping without any hesitation whatsoever.
So you're describing being highly resourceful, being fully able to make something meaningful, valuable, and enjoyable out of whatever limited, leftover, or unexpected resources happen to be available to you at that exact moment in time.
Exactly, that description fits perfectly. I genuinely had to become resourceful growing up in a large family with a consistently tight budget where absolutely nothing went to waste, and creativity in the kitchen was basically a necessary survival skill for everyone involved.
When did you first clearly realize that this ability wasn't merely a practical necessity forced upon you, but actually a real, recognizable talent that you could feel genuinely and deservedly proud of developing?
It hit me with complete clarity when my roommate enthusiastically told his parents over dinner that I could turn absolute kitchen garbage into genuine gold, and everyone at the table laughed warmly while also meaning it sincerely and with real appreciation.
That's such a wonderful and encouraging phrase to hear directed at you, turning garbage into gold, which really and practically means transforming what initially seems worthless, leftover, or discarded into something genuinely valuable, enjoyable, and deeply appreciated by the people around you.
Exactly. And honestly, realizing that people genuinely valued what I created with my own hands and ideas gave me a powerful kind of confidence I had never really felt before in any other area of my life up to that point.
Confidence, which we can define clearly as a deep, lasting belief in your own abilities, your judgment, and your inherent worth, that's a powerful and transformative quality that grows slowly but eventually changes everything around it in positive ways.
Yes. And what's particularly interesting to me is how that growing confidence gradually spilled over into my professional work, my closest personal relationships, and even how I approached complex problems that I used to avoid completely out of fear or doubt.
Do you genuinely believe that almost everyone, regardless of their background or circumstances, possesses at least one skill exactly like this? Something they're quietly proud of achieving but rarely mention out loud because they assume it isn't impressive enough?
Yes, I strongly believe that people very often downplay their own genuine abilities out of habit, social modesty, or simple lack of reflection. But I truly believe we should own our skills fully and openly without offering any unnecessary apology to anyone at all.
Own it. Take complete pride in it fully without shrinking yourself, minimizing your effort, or making excuses. I really love that healthy mindset because it encourages honest self-respect and authentic recognition rather than false humility that serves no one.
Exactly. There's genuinely no need for false modesty when you've clearly earned something through consistent dedication, patient practice, and a genuine willingness to learn constructively from repeated mistakes over an extended period of time.
And thinking personally about your own broader experience, is there perhaps a skill outside of cooking, something entirely different, that you're quietly proud of developing gradually over many years of practice?
Actually, yes. I'm fairly decent at taking genuinely complex ideas and explaining them clearly in a way that makes people suddenly and visibly say, "Oh, now I finally understand it clearly and completely for the first time."
That is genuinely a rare and valuable ability, being fully able to simplify something complicated without accidentally stripping away its real meaning, depth, or importance, which requires both thorough understanding and genuine empathetic care for the listener's perspective.
Thank you sincerely. I think that ability started naturally because I grew up consistently helping my younger siblings understand their school homework. So breaking difficult concepts down into understandable pieces just became second nature to me over the years.
So it clearly began out of pure family necessity, patiently helping relatives learn, and gradually transformed into a real, practical skill that you not only continue to use regularly, but genuinely take deep pride in today, as part of who you are.
Exactly right. And there's something profoundly rewarding about watching someone visibly transition from confused and frustrated to clear and confident, knowing with certainty that you personally played a direct and meaningful role in creating that positive shift.
Let's talk in more detail about your actual learning journey. Did you practice your cooking skills intentionally by following written recipes very carefully? Or was the process much more of an unstructured trial and error experience over a long period?
At first, it was almost entirely unstructured trial and error. I cooked constantly at home, failed repeatedly in interesting ways, and slowly began understanding important patterns without even fully realizing what I was gradually building through all those attempts.
Failure, the mistakes, disappointments, and unexpected outcomes that eventually become genuine, valuable lessons is truly an essential and unavoidable part of learning anything meaningful, lasting, and personally valuable in life, without any exception whatsoever.
Exactly. Every single burnt sauce, every overly salted dish, every strange or unexpected texture taught me something very specific that I carried directly and immediately into my very next cooking attempt with greater awareness.
Burnt sauce. We've absolutely all experienced that disappointing moment at some point in our lives, standing over the stove, wondering exactly where everything went so unexpectedly and completely wrong, despite our best intentions.
Yes, and that unpleasant smell seems to linger stubbornly in the kitchen for hours, like regret itself, quietly reminding you that patience and attention really do matter significantly more than pure speed or impatience ever will.
Can you describe for us one specific dish you're particularly proud of successfully creating? Something that truly represents how far you've personally come with this developing skill over all these years.
I'd confidently say a spicy lentil stew that I created with almost no traditional spices actually available in my kitchen, using only careful timing, close attention, and a developing understanding of how different flavors develop slowly and naturally over sustained heat.
Technique, the specific, practical skill, careful method, and deliberate approach in how you execute something really is the true heart of any genuine mastery, rather than simply following written instructions blindly without personal understanding.
Exactly. Knowing precisely when to stir actively, when to let something sit quietly undisturbed, and when the texture has finally reached exactly the right balanced point comes only from doing the process repeatedly with full attention over time.
Intuition, developing an accurate understanding of something important without being explicitly told or instructed, is something that develops naturally through repeated direct experience, rather than being taught effectively in any formal classroom or textbook setting.
Absolutely. And it's incredibly satisfying personally to reach a point where you can genuinely trust your own internal sense and judgment instead of constantly second-guessing every single small decision you need to make.
Do people regularly ask you for your recipes now? Or do you find yourself naturally sharing what you've learned with friends and family members who genuinely want to improve their own cooking abilities?
all the time, without fail. Though I usually tell them clearly that written recipes are only general guides, and the real practical key is consistently tasting as you go, making adjustments constantly based on direct observation.
Taste as you go, making continuous adjustments based entirely on direct personal experience rather than following written instructions rigidly without thought. That's a valuable life philosophy that clearly applies to so much more than just cooking food.
Exactly. Real life rarely, if ever, follows a strict predetermined recipe. So learning to adapt flexibly and intelligently in real time is probably one of the most valuable long-term skills anyone can genuinely develop.
That's a genuinely thoughtful and practical perspective. Do you sincerely believe this same flexible philosophy has significantly changed how you approach unexpected challenges outside of the kitchen and other parts of your life?
Completely and consistently. I now approach professional work projects, important personal conversations, and even my long-term personal goals with that same adaptable mindset, which makes me far less afraid of unexpected changes or setbacks.
Let's bring this insight back directly to our main topic of language learning. What do you personally think is the single most important takeaway for our intermediate listeners who are actively building new skills right now?
That real, lasting progress is rarely dramatic or suddenly visible. Instead, it's consistently the result of steady, patient practice that builds quietly and almost invisibly over extended time until everything suddenly and beautifully clicks together.
Consistent, remaining steady, regular, and committed rather than intensely active only in very short bursts. That's genuinely and demonstrably how lasting skills stick firmly in place and grow progressively stronger over the long term.
Exactly. You genuinely don't become highly skilled overnight through any shortcut. It requires showing up repeatedly with commitment, making mistakes openly, adjusting thoughtfully, and trusting that the process will eventually work in your favor.
Were there specific difficult moments during your cooking journey where you felt genuinely discouraged enough that you almost gave up completely and walked away from cooking forever?
Sure, absolutely. There was one particularly difficult whole month where nothing at all tasted right, nothing worked according to plan, and I genuinely started wondering with real concern if I was actually getting worse rather than slowly improving.
What specifically kept you returning and continuing through that difficult, discouraging period? Was it pure determination, genuine curiosity, or perhaps something else entirely that pulled you consistently back?
Curiosity mostly. I genuinely and strongly wanted to understand exactly why things failed the way they did, and that compelling question kept pulling me back to the stove rather than allowing me to quit permanently out of frustration.
That's such a genuinely powerful mindset shift to experience. Being actively curious rather than passively discouraged turns every failure into an interesting puzzle waiting patiently to be solved, rather than a solid wall blocking your path entirely.
Exactly right. When you begin to see failure primarily as useful information rather than as harsh personal judgment, everything around your learning process fundamentally changes, and you become far more willing to take necessary risks.
Wall, a substantial obstacle that initially seems impossible to move or overcome, and you actively turned that intimidating wall into a solvable puzzle instead, which really captures the very core of genuine personal resilience.
Thank you for recognizing that. And I genuinely believe that language learning works in the exact same practical way. Mistakes in language aren't true failures, but are simply valuable data pointing you steadily toward the correct underlying pattern.
Can you explain that important connection a little more clearly for our listeners? How does your cooking experience relate directly and practically to someone who is currently learning English at an intermediate level right now?
Sure, very clearly. You practice the language regularly, you naturally make mistakes, you gradually notice important patterns, and over extended time, your brain starts recognizing linguistic structures naturally without you forcing the process at all.
Patterns, repeated behaviors, structures, or results that gradually reveal the underlying rules, that's really the essential key to genuine mastery in absolutely any skill, from practical cooking to language acquisition and well beyond.
Exactly. Once you clearly see the recurring pattern, everything clicks smoothly into place naturally,
and suddenly what previously felt extremely difficult starts to feel intuitive, comfortable, and almost completely automatic over time.
Let's thoughtfully wrap this particular section with something more personally meaningful. What's one important thing you're proud of that exists clearly beyond cooking? Something that genuinely reflects who you are as a complete person?
Being consistently reliable, showing up for the important people in my life regularly, keeping my promises and word without exception, and making absolutely sure others know they can genuinely count on me without any doubt whatsoever.
Reliable, fully dependable, consistently trustworthy, and present when needed. That's a quiet but incredibly powerful personal skill that builds deep, lasting trust in every single relationship and situation, gradually over time.
Exactly. It's certainly not flashy, exciting, or visibly impressive, but it genuinely matters deeply to the people who depend on you. And I strongly believe it's something people appreciate far more than they always express out loud.
So today, we've thoughtfully covered cooking skills, personal consistency, genuine growth, emotional resilience, and the particular kind of deep pride that comes specifically from showing up for yourself repeatedly and patiently over extended time.
And hopefully we've successfully reminded our listeners that their own unique skills, whatever they personally happen to be, absolutely deserve to be recognized, genuinely valued, and spoken about openly with complete and authentic confidence.
Before we fully close, is there one final, meaningful thought you'd like to share directly with everyone listening right now, especially those actively building their skills and perhaps quietly doubting their progress along the way?
Don't wait for anyone else's external permission to feel genuinely proud of your personal growth. The progress you've made so far belongs entirely to you alone, and fully recognizing it is actually an essential part of continuing to move forward with energy.
Beautifully and sincerely said. Thank you deeply for being here with me today, Jake, and for sharing your personal thoughts so openly, generously, and thoughtfully with everyone listening to our conversation.
Always a genuine pleasure, Emma. And thank you sincerely to everyone listening today. Please keep practicing diligently, keep exploring curiously, and always remember that real growth is a long, rewarding journey that is absolutely worth taking seriously.
We'll see you again very soon. Please take excellent care of yourselves, stay actively curious about the world, and keep consistently showing up for the things that truly and deeply matter to you in your life.
See you very soon. And please, genuinely enjoy the entire process, because the process itself, with all its challenges and small victories, is exactly where the real, lasting pride quietly and powerfully lives every single day.
That really is it for this particular episode. Please remember that meaningful skills grow quietly in the background of our lives, but the healthy pride you take in them should absolutely be spoken out loud and fully owned without hesitation.
Well said. Until we meet next time, please keep showing up for yourself with genuine patience, sustained curiosity, and growing confidence that you are becoming more capable in real, measurable ways every single day.
One last shared laugh before we completely close. What is the absolute worst dish you've ever personally made? The one that still genuinely makes you cringe with embarrassment when you think about it today?
A garlic soup so intensely and overwhelmingly strong that it could have genuinely repelled vampires from 100 meters away, and I proudly served it to unsuspecting guests without tasting it myself first. Both laugh.
And yet you absolutely kept cooking afterward. You didn't quit, which really proves clearly that the deeper, more important skill isn't perfect execution, but genuine resilience and the willingness to keep showing up regardless of embarrassing results.
Exactly. Resilience, which specifically means bouncing back stronger and more informed after setbacks, is really where true personal pride genuinely lives, far beyond any single successful dish or temporary moment of success.
Perfect way to thoughtfully close this meaningful conversation. Thank you sincerely to everyone who listened carefully, generously shared their valuable time, and perhaps recognized a meaningful part of themselves in our discussion today.
Thanks deeply and sincerely for listening, for continuing to practice your skills with commitment, and for genuinely caring about your own personal growth. please take excellent care of yourselves and keep actively believing in what's fully possible.
Goodbye for now. And please never forget that you are consistently more capable, more resilient, and more genuinely skilled than you often allow yourself to believe in your quieter, more doubtful moments every single day.
See you very soon. Please keep growing steadily. Keep shining with confidence, and always remember that your personal journey, with all its valuable mistakes and meaningful victories, is genuinely something worth feeling profoundly proud of.
And one final important reminder, the particular skill you're proud of today is really just the beginning of something larger. There's always more to discover about yourself, more abilities to improve, and significantly more internal confidence to build ahead of you.
Exactly right. Genuine growth truly never reaches a final ending point, and that's precisely what makes it continuously exciting rather than eventually exhausting, because there's always something new and worthwhile working toward with authentic pride.
Thank you sincerely once again, Jake, and thank you to every listener practicing diligently, learning actively, and growing patiently, one meaningful step at a time, with real commitment to themselves.
My sincere and heartfelt thanks to everyone. Please stay consistently committed, stay actively curious, stay genuinely proud of your progress, and we'll talk again very soon about whatever valuable skill shines brightest next.
That's truly all from us for today. Please take this entire conversation with you, reflect thoughtfully on your own unique skills, and begin speaking about them with the full confidence they genuinely and rightfully deserve today.
Perfect closing thought. Goodbye for now. Please keep practicing with dedication, keep shining with authenticity, and never forget that your personal pride in your developing skills is both fully earned through effort and deeply, genuinely deserved always.
Before we fully and finally close our time together, I want to emphasize one critically important idea. Feeling genuine pride in a developed skill isn't about comparing your abilities unfavorably to anyone else. It's specifically about recognizing how far you've personally traveled from where you originally began.
That's absolutely correct. Unnecessary comparison often steals our natural joy quickly, but honest, kind self-reflection consistently gives you the mental clarity and sustained motivation needed to continue growing with genuine enthusiasm over the long term.
And for anyone listening right now who feels like they haven't clearly found their special skill yet, what encouraging words would you offer them, without sounding overly simple, dismissive, or disconnected from reality?
I'd sincerely say, start intentionally small. Stay actively curious about your interests and pay very close attention to exactly what activities make you naturally lose complete track of time. That's usually where your real, natural abilities are quietly developing strongly.
Lose complete track of time, becoming so genuinely engaged in an activity that several hours pass without you noticing. That's often the clearest and most reliable signal that something truly meaningful and personally important is happening inside you.
Exactly. And once you clearly recognize and honor that particular feeling, you can begin nurturing it intentionally with patience, gradually turning what started as a casual interest into a genuine, lasting skill that grows stronger over months and years.
So today, we've thoughtfully covered practical cooking, personal reliability, emotional resilience, important language patterns, and the deeper, more meaningful significance of taking authentic pride in something you have genuinely earned through sustained effort.
Yes, and we've hopefully reminded every listener that real skills aren't magically born overnight. They're built slowly, patiently, and consistently, with a genuine willingness to keep showing up even during periods when visible progress feels almost completely invisible.
Invisible progress, the kind of growth that happens quietly in the background without any dramatic external proof, is still absolutely real and valuable progress, and learning to trust that process is perhaps the most mature skill of all.
Exactly right. Please trust the process fully, honor your growth sincerely, and never underestimate what consistent, patient, dedicated effort can genuinely create over an extended period of time. That's our real message today.
As we truly reach the final end of our time together, I want to remind every single listener that the skill you are proud of is not merely an isolated talent. It is powerful evidence of your inner character, your personal patience, and your willingness to grow despite obstacles.
That is a beautiful and completely accurate way to express it. Your developed skills are direct reflections of your entire journey, your lived struggles, your persistent efforts, and the conscious choices you made to keep improving when absolutely no one was watching.
So please take that healthy pride with you. Hold it gently but firmly in your heart, and let it remind you consistently that you are genuinely capable of far more than temporary doubt ever allows you to fully believe. Goodbye until we meet again, and please keep shining.
Thank you sincerely for generously sharing your valuable time with us today. Please keep practicing your skills, keep trusting your growth process, keep fully owning your achievements, and always remember that you are already significantly more capable than you imagine. Goodbye, everyone, and keep shining brightly.